not the Arminian, not the Calvinistic, just the Bethune version. Here it is. When we read these things in Scripture, it should rattle you. It should shake you. Even as a believer. You know, we got this false idea that nothing should shake us and nothing should move us. That's right, we should stand on faith. But when we, as Isaiah, who was the most righteous man of his day, you got to get this now. He was the holy man. He was the righteous man. He was the man of faith. He was the man of integrity. He was the man of right and holy and good. And Isaiah, in Isaiah chapter 6, when his king had died, his earthly king had died, the ground that he stood on, metaphorically, was shaken. He just didn't know, oh my goodness. And as a reminder of him, the heavens was opened up and God revealed himself to Isaiah. And what did this holy man do? He fell on his face. And he said, "Woe is me, for I am ruined. I'm undone." This is God's man. Why is he doing this in front of God? Because God supersedes even our best description of His holiness and His righteousness and His glory. We've seen proud men in our lifetime, have we not? Proud men who will not bow. Whether it be honorably will not bow, as we consider honorably not bending to pressure, or whether it just be a rebel who's just not going to do it. If the good man, the righteous, melts like wax in the presence of the Lord, what do you think the sinner will do? Why? Just because of the Shekinah glory of God. The Shekinah, the surpassing, the greatness, the indescribable, the overwhelming glory of God. So when we begin to approach this idea of foreknowledge, this idea of predestination, this idea of who God is, we begin to look at this and see this is big, this is greater than us, and it should shake us. But not only that, there's this idea of man being responsible. I love Romans chapter 9. I think Paul answers a really good question. Now, for us to get context, I'm going to read some before, and I'll read a little bit after. But don't miss the question and the answer. Paul does that a lot. Romans chapter 5, shall we continue? 5 and 6. If grace abounds, where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more, then we should go sin, right? No, may it never be. How that we who have died to sin still live in it. Paul does that again right here in Romans chapter 9, verse 7. Verse 8. That is that verse 9. Let's drop down to Romans 9:9. For this is the word of promise, that is time I will come and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but there was Rebekah also, when she had conceived twins by one man, our father Isaac. For though the twins were not yet born, and had not done anything good or bad, so that that God's purpose according to His choice would stand, not because of works, but because of Him who calls, it was said to her, the older will serve the younger. Just as is written, Jacob I love, but Esau I hated. So what shall we say then? Is there no justice with God? May it never be. For He said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So it does not depend on the man who runs, or the man who wills, or the man who runs, but on God who has mercy. For the Scripture says to Pharaoh, for this very purpose I raised you up.